your mat, feet together, knees wide apart. Then reach your arms forward, sit your hips to your heels, and for some with the hips not touching the heels, don't stress about it. Just allow your upper body to melt as close to the ground as possible. Okay? And if you can, rest your forehead on the floor. So as you rest your forehead on the ground, you might want to soften the shoulders and let the elbows bend naturally. Okay, so we want to start here, just in a moment where we're all focused on just ourselves, with your eyes closed. Perhaps you can sense the breath. Perhaps by being still and just sitting down, you can sense body sensations. Are there any aches and pains today? Or perhaps there's nothing in particular that you notice. Can you acknowledge that feeling of ease and comfort as well? All right, so we're coming and moving from different places. Always know that even if we practice as a group, it's really just about you. Right? And even if you don't have your videos on, I do hope that you just follow. For those who've turned their videos on, thank you, so I can get some feedback. We'll stay here for a couple more breaths, and when we count our breaths, it's always a pair. An inhale and an exhale, we do that as one, and then we move along from there. Great. Let's take 3 more big breaths here. We try our best to breathe through the nose if that is available for you. If not, you can exhale through the mouth from time to time. 2 more breaths. Can we keep that breath slow and steady? Take another big breath in through the nose and out through the nostrils as well. Great. On your next in-breath, actively reach those fingers forward. Lift your hips off your bum and come up to tabletop. All right. So in your table, it's really like a table. Your hands are under the shoulders, your knees are under your hips. And we try to brace the core just a bit so we're not hanging on our joints. So a little bracing of the core to widen the upper back, point the toes, and then draw your navel in. And then from here, we'll just do a little bit of a balance. So extend the right foot back. We'll keep the toes tucked and on the ground for this time. Squaring the hips to the ground, extend your left arm forward. All right, and that feels very easy, very stable. Then lift your right foot off the ground. Point, flex, point, whatever you want to do with your foot, as long as it's active. So extend both ends, reach the fingers, reach the toes. Take a breath at the top and maybe lift just a tiny bit higher. On the exhale, draw the navel in and bend your elbow and your knee to touch under you. So you're rounding your back in the process. Another 2 times, extend, inhale. So try to move with the breath. Exhale, slow and steady. Draw it in, round your back a little. 1 more time, extend. Last time here, we're holding. And see if you can lift a little bit higher. And if possible, bend that leg. Reach back and grab the foot. And it's okay if you can't get the foot today. Maybe you can. If you do that, kick the leg up a little bit higher and see how that pulls the shoulder back just a little bit more. Okay, and if you lose your balance at any point, just meet us back here. Good. 2 more breaths. And 1. Good. Release the hand and the knee back in place. You may sway from side to side to find your center again. All right, now extend the left leg. Same thing. Choose the option you did the first time. Reach the right arm forward. Keep it balanced. So whatever option was the leg floating or not. And then we hold here. Again, try not to drop the belly. So we're not letting it drop, pulling it up in so you have a nice integrity on your spine. Then we move, exhale, elbow to knee, draw it in. Extend. So if your foot was coming from the ground, same thing. Exhale, elbow to knee, just the same. Nice. 1 more time, extend. For this last time, we stay up, maybe lift up higher, then bend that leg, reach it back, nice one. And once you get the foot, kick it up a little bit, just a little at a time. All right, never ever hold your breath. When you kick up, allow the right shoulder to roll back slightly so you have a nice front of the chest opening. Very nice. One more breath. And then exhale, let it go. Bring your hand and your knee back in place. And we'll just do some cat and cows. All right, so in your cow, drop the belly. Let's move together. Inhale, drop the belly, chin and tail up. Exhale, round your back. All right, and then keep moving at my pace or at yours, but just move with your breath. Inhale to look up, exhale to squeeze the belly and round your back. Do that about 3 more times at your pace. And the idea is that we just want to move the spine. Every vertebra, it helps to visualize all the way to the tailbone, all the way to the crown of your head. Maybe you're finishing your last if you're at my pace. So let's finish that last bit. Come back to table. All right, on this one, we're gonna move the right leg. So I'll just move facing you so you can see me. Move your right leg out to the right side. Everything is still the same. The hands and the knee stay there. Then sit your hips to your heels, just like our child's pose earlier. Keep the right foot stepping down if possible. If not, it will kind of roll out. That's fine. Then reach your arms forward, just like you did in your child's pose. So you'll get that additional sort of inner right thigh stretch. Perhaps you'll feel it all the way to your groin, some part of your hamstrings. Can you just sense all of that? 2 more breaths there. In through the nose, press the heel, reach the hands, relax the head. 1 more cycle of breath, just like child's with 1 leg out. And then lift your hips up, come up to tabletop with 1 leg still moved up. Okay, so with the right leg still there, lift your right arm up. And just open up, so it's a light twist. Reaching the right arm until perhaps the arms are in 1 line. If you're feeling good around your shoulders today, reach back, wrap your right arm towards your left hip, and then roll back the shoulders some more. Maybe look up if that is something comfortable for the neck. If not, you can just look downwards a bit, okay? 2 more breaths here. Finding a little bit more rotation, as if you want to lean over to your left side, just a tiny bit. Okay, release the right hand back down to the floor. Let's switch over to the other side, exactly the same thing. Reset, then extend your left leg. Straight and with the foot stepping down. Now push your hips to your heel. Reach forward through the arms and relax as much as you can. Feel if the left leg feels more open. Does it feel easier? Does it feel more stiff than the other side? Relax the forehead. You have 2 more breaths right here. Just stay with it. Breathe constantly. Don't overthink it. Then come up as we were, hands down, but then lift the left arm up. See also if this side is easy to open. Perhaps it was a little harder on the first side. Top hand, wrap behind the right hip and roll back the shoulder. Look up, keep the head lifted. So keep the integrity in the neck. We don't want the head to drop so far. 2 more breaths. Good. Revolve your chest up, 1 breath. And then release the left palm back in place. All right, so we'll go back to your tabletop. And we're moving into a down dog position. It's very common practice, a very common pose as well. So just tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back into down dog. If it feels too short, like I'm doing here, move your hands about a palm's distance forward. Okay, some of us might be able to fully extend the legs. Otherwise, if that is too intense, just have your heels lift, knees bent, and focus instead on extending your butt up. So let's keep it simple. Just straighten or lengthen your spine, and the legs will happen later on. So it doesn't matter. But if you can, try to form an inverted letter V. Yeah, so you will feel it hopefully both on the upper body and the lower body evenly. If your heels are touching, look back at your toes. If your heels are touching the floor, not touching each other. So if they're grounded on the floor, if you want to intensify that sensation, you can even lift your toes up and see if you can get to the calves, ankles, just to try. Yeah. Let's stay here for another 3 breaths. So when we move, when we hold our poses, we get to learn about our different body parts some more. 1 more breath, maybe those that we don't notice much from day to day. Good. And then on your next breath, we're gonna just shift the body forward into your plank. So it's like you just came up from the push-up or the top of a push-up, right? Keep the toes or tucked with your heels above the balls of your feet. Good. So for some of us with the butt kind of sticking up like this, can you tuck the tail a bit so you can feel your whole core integrated? If you get tired, drop your knees. Otherwise, I know some of you can hold this for like 2 minutes, so you're fine. Okay, 1 more breath here. Very nice. So we're gonna lower the knees slowly, gently, and then lean forward. So don't let the elbows point out. We're gonna keep them close towards the ribs and pointed back, like a little tricep push-up. Come all the way to the floor, nice and smoothly. All right, so every movement is deliberate, like our breaths. Let's point all the toes back. So the tops of the feet are pressing on the mat, so don't let them fly up. Press the tops of your feet down. We'll move a few cobras or baby cobras, back bends with our breath. Press down your palms, inhale together, and lift your chest up a little, keeping the elbows bent. We'll just feel it out first. Shoulders back. Okay, exhale, come down. If you want to go higher, you'll need to breathe deeper, right? Inhale, higher than before, but the breath should be longer too. Nice, exhale, come down 1 more time. Inhale, shoulders back, chest open, chest proud. Good. Exhale, come down. Nice, tuck your toes, push your hips back towards the heels, and come back and up to downward facing dog. So every time you come to down dog, maybe take that like home base, checking your body out from time to time. We're moving from here. Everyone lift your right leg up. Super, super high. As high as it will go without leaning forward. So it's still that 3-point position, not plank. Lift the right leg up higher. 1 more breath. Relax your head. And then look forward, exhale, bend your right knee towards your chest and move forward as if you would do a plank. Then try to step that right foot in between your hands. And if it doesn't go, push it, crawl it, make it happen. All right, lower the left knee down. Some of us might have sensitive knees, so you can fold up your mat if you really need extra padding. But if you're good here, we'll stay. Untuck your left toes, yeah? And then ground your weight down to the right big toe and heel as we rise up. Just sweep the arms up. Super nice, super easy. So as we extend straight up, some of us may have straightened the leg, front leg somehow. Can we keep that knee bent deep? So just above the heel. And then as you bring your hips down, maybe start feeling the front of your left thigh, the hip flexor, yeah? Reach a little bit higher and lengthen your tailbone down so you don't feel like your lower back is getting crushed. So it should feel comfortable enough, all right? We'll bend the elbows 90 degrees or like goalpost arms. As you bend your elbows out, bring them back. So this should wake up the shoulders a bit more. Yeah, lift up the chest, but move your arms back just a bit more. So feel free to explore. How far can I go? How much can I open? Yeah, where will my body take me today? 1 more breath. So it doesn't have to be deep for you to feel something. Nice. Then just release the hands back to the ground. Fingertips touch. Now we're gonna straighten the front leg, just half split. Move your hips back so that your hips line up with your left knee. And then we're gonna extend this front leg, so you will need space. Move your hands in a little and slide and wiggle that foot forward. So if you use your legs a lot with your other activities, this is good for you. You feel a lot of things, maybe a lot of sensations today. Flex your right foot more. You don't even have to bend deeper, but just point your toes towards you, and you might already feel the calf hamstring, yes? And then make sure that your right hip is pulling back. So we want to use the practice to be a little bit more sensitive in terms of feeling these little points in our bodies, little parts. So can we focus on the right hip and push the right hip back a little? Like you're pulling your hamstring from where it connects to your butt. You can sense that. Pull from that end as well. All right. Then if you're feeling great, all good, walk your hands forward. Let's just explore. And then bend your elbows a little bit. A little bit or a lot. You go for it. For those who want to go a lot, go a lot. Bring your hands forward, press your palms down, bend your elbows, and then you'll feel it more. It's kind of pulling, but in a good way. So nothing too sharp, nothing too intense, just uncomfortable. Discomfort is okay sometimes. Last 2 breaths, there you go. Good opportunity to get into the back of this right leg. 1 breath here. Nice. And then walk your hands back a bit. Make some room to rebend that right leg and give it a rest. Then step the foot back to down dog. Okay, so it might feel a little lopsided right now. Uneven. Let's let it be. And we'll try to even it out on the left. All together, left leg up. Remember to keep the head and the neck relaxed. Lift that left leg as high as it will go. And then next exhale, knee towards your chest, move forward just like plank and try your best to step in one go to the front, in between your hands, close to your left thumb. So step your left foot. Once again, let's try to really get it there. Okay, lower the right knee on the floor, uncurl or untuck your right toes. Press evenly on both feet so you feel supported. Then reach the arms up high. Okay, bend that left leg. So as we go down, feel the strength of the front leg and feel the opening at the right hip flexor or the quads. Nice. Let's do the goalpost arms one more time on this side. Bend the elbows like cactus arms. Lift the chest. You want to feel like you're lifting front, back, and sides of your body as you bend the elbows back a little bit. It's not bending so much, but more of moving the entire arm bone back. Let's stay here for 2. Press the left big toe heavy. A little wiggle is okay. A bit of shaking is fine. 1. Exhale. Release the fingertips on the mat. Very nice. Now straighten up your left leg. Move your hands back and do the small adjustments again. Perhaps remembering how you did it on the first side. Wiggle the left foot. That usually helps extend the left leg completely. Then move your hands directly under your shoulders to start. So we're right here, we're high. Maybe the knee is slightly bent, it's okay. So just find the extension you can do with the foot flexed. Really pull the toes back. Then let's go and explore where we are here. Stay or go down some more. Hands down, hands forward, fingers crawl. Yeah. So it's leave some curiosity and just see. Will it go further forward? Remember to pull the left hip back a little bit so that you're not leaning over to the left side so much. 2 more breaths. Remember, breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. Nice. And then on the next inhale, just lift up from wherever you are and adjust the hands. Rebend or re-lunge on that left leg. A nice break. Then step back, this time to child's pose. And then soften. We take 5 breaths. It's just a quick break before we move along. 4, inhale. Exhale out, slow and steady. 3, take your time. 2. Finish that breath. 1. Good. On your next breath, from your child's pose, keep your knees there on the ground and just walk your hands back. So now you're sitting on your heels. If we have knee issues, some people might find this super uncomfortable. Just sit with crossed legs. Otherwise, if you're good, we're gonna move up to the shoulders, give the hips and the legs a bit of a break, sort of, and move up to our arms and upper body. Okay, reach the arms out and up. And at the top, interlace your fingers, flip your palms, and push up. So what we want to be mindful of here is not arching back so much. So it's not really about the just leaning back. Try to lift and lengthen evenly around the torso. Imagine you had a corset. The guys will just have to visualize a corset getting tighter from all sides. Yes. And then that narrows the waist, but you're still able to breathe. Okay, so not too tight. Reach your arms up and push like you're trying to reach for the ceiling, but can we relax the shoulders? So we're not tense, we're not too intense. Focus the lengthening on the side body. We just have another full breath here. So we keep all of that engaged that we talked about. Then twist to your right. Rotate the entire upper body to the right without bending the elbows, without losing the engagement or the integrity of that tight corset. Let's stay here for another 2. Nice. Maybe you can turn just a little bit more with the torso, not the neck. And then come back to the center. Inhale, try to move the head with the rest of the spine. Exhale to the left. All right, and we might find some gripping, some tightness, some tension, and that's all right. 2 more breaths. That's why we're moving today. 1 more breath. Reach up, turn, then come back to the center and release the arms. Maybe for some of us, there's a little tingling, little rush of blood over down to the arms. All right, shake it out, and then just slide your butt to one side and extend your legs in front of you. So we're sitting. When we sit, try to focus more on how tall the spine is rather than how straight the legs are, and you'll be having a rounded spine. So if you need to have a little bend in the knees or a lot of a bend, and then move your sitting bones back so you feel supported without overworking your back muscles. Can we find that? For those of us who can find this long spine, then think about straightening the legs second. Okay. So we're here in our seated pose. We're going to, I'm going to do 2 here. We're going to sort of reverse fold one leg. So bend the right leg and hug it towards your chest. And remember, still the spine is tall. That L shape is not really going away. Lean slightly to your left and we'll reverse fold the right leg. Okay, see if you can press the right hip heavy. So the right foot, as you can see, is outside my butt. I am not sitting on the foot. So it's right outside my butt, and you're extending up with one leg folded. Okay, so from there, we're gonna lean forward, make the fold happen from your hip joint rather than your back muscles. So from your hip, if it helps, take your hands to your hip. If this is a new sensation for you, you may wanna literally tip it over to begin the movement. And you will feel it. It's really the hip bone. And once you get that tipping motion, then you can reach the arms. And continue forward and forward and forward. Like I said, explore. Maybe the belly reaches to the thighs. Maybe the chest points beyond the knee. Yeah. And perhaps your chin can reach towards your shin. It doesn't have to touch, but we want to go to that direction. We have another 2 breaths. We already did a leg stretch earlier. Did you notice that it's easier for you to come down? Maybe yes, maybe it's all the same. Then come up from where you are. All right, if you have knee pain right now, release the pose and just fold the leg the other way. But if you're still good, we're gonna do 1 more on this leg variation. From here, we'll lean back with the hands behind us. So you can see it from the side. And lean back and feel it out. Okay? Feel it out. If you're comfortable, you're okay, come down on your elbows, 1 at a time. And you will feel the sensation on the front of your right leg, the quads area. Are we good? Is it enough? If it's still quite easy, lean back and lie down on the mat. Like really lie down. Yep, there you go. So for those of us who are halfway, that's all right, stay with me. For those of us who are on the ground, you can raise your arms over your head, like you're stretching up when you're waking up in the morning. So reach your arms up and see if that adds a little bit more intensity. You can keep the arms straight. You can even bend your elbows and hold your opposite elbows and gently drag them down to the ground. Another 2 breaths. Looking good. For those of us on the ground, come meet us halfway. Come up to your elbows and just come out the opposite way. And let's all come out together. Come up to straight. Lean slightly to the left to let go of the right leg. You can shake it off and just feel the difference. All right, let's do everything on the left side. Take our time. Lean to the right, bend the left, and fold it outside. So we just lean to give space, then we go back right in the middle. Okay, so there may be a bit of gap between the knees, that's all right. Hands to the hip bones. I really like to sense where the movement is coming from. So tip your body weight forward. And once you get where the movement is coming from, reach the arms. Because sometimes we put too much effort in the muscles that don't need to work so hard. So lean forward, that means the lower back stays long and we don't flex the spine so much. So keeping the spine long, then feeling your stretch. Go for it, lower, deeper. Can you explore how long you can keep the spine while you're going down? It's not about getting the head anywhere. It's really just extending the entire upper body forward at an angle. We have 2 more breaths. Very nice. 1 more breath. Good. And then for those of us deep on the ground, let's meet all the way up to seated. Remember, you can always let go of this pose if you need to. Otherwise, stay with the knee bent this way. Bring your hands behind, and it might not feel exactly the same. So do it like you're doing it the first time. Lean back, explore, the elbows come down. If your upper body stays long, if you're resting on your elbows, you stay right here with me. If you're going all the way to the floor, then lean back and lie down. If you're on your elbows, don't let the shoulders come up to the ears. So you're not leaning collapsed. You are still keeping the integrity of the spine lifting up, of the chest staying wide. Copy what you did on your arms position as well. Did you reach them overhead? Did you bend them? Did you pull them down? For those of us lying on the ground, go ahead and do the same arm position. All right. For those who are lying down on the back, come up slowly to the elbows. When we're all here, let's come up all the way to seated. So for me, that was the tighter side. I don't know if you felt a difference with your legs. All right, so we're here and we'll bend the knees. Let's go to a diamond shaped legs, Baddha Konasana, knees together, and then open your feet out. Open your knees out. Feet stay together. All right, so we'll move the heels to the hips. And it's okay if your knees are like up this way. If you have something like a block, if you find that your knees are so high and you barely have space to move, if you have any of the blocks, you can sit on it. Elevate your hips, maybe a firm pillow, that would help. Otherwise, we're on the ground and we're trying to bring the heels really close to your hips. The more you press the heels towards each other, the more the thighs open up. So it's not so much about the pushing, it's really about how we engage the legs. Let's stay here just a little bit longer before we do anything more. Press the heels really firmly to each other. And then can you feel the outer hips or like the outside of your glutes? And just engage them. Squeeze them in towards each other. And you might find that just by doing that, the legs open a little more. Okay, so I always want to start with where we're stable. Then we can add more with that. Take your hands to the feet and open your feet out like a book. So thumbs on the inside, fingers on the outside. Then you'll notice a little bit more opening. Okay, so even if it's just 1 millimeter, a little bit is fine. Then once you're there, heels pressed, don't lose that engagement, outer hips active, palms opening the feet, lengthen your spine like we've been doing so many times before, lean forward from the hip. And sometimes you'll get stuck at some point. Breathe in again, lengthen your spine, and then exhale, see if you can go past that point. All right, so when you're about halfway and you want to add a little bit more, this is optional. Use your elbows either on the inner thighs or the calf. Then you can add a push. Then you'll get into it. Explore. It's okay to be uncomfortable. Just breathe through it. Lean forward, open feet, outer hips engaged, push elbows, and hold. So explore those few points, and maybe you go further with each breath. You have 2 more breaths here. Lean forward, press down, keep the feet active. Very nice. Okay, from wherever you ended up, lift your chest up. Bring your legs towards each other. You can use your hands to close them back in. Very nice. So we're gonna keep the knees bent, the feet flat. Move the feet forward a little. Then we'll drop the knees to the right. Let your chest follow it. Don't be too stiff. Let the left hip lift up. That's good. Turn to your right side. Turn, turn, turn until you're facing the back. Like that. And then when we're here, we're basically turning our spine. The left hip will lift. Let that happen. And then you're looking at the back part of your mat. Palms down. And then bend your elbows. Rest your forehead on your palms like a pillow. If you do find yourself a little too intense, you may move towards the left edge of the mat more if it's just too tense to breathe. For those of us who are feeling good, the breaths are flowing, the breaths are steady. If you want to, the left leg can slide or reach further back, just to feel it. So reach the left toes more to the back or to the left of your mat. You will find it on the side. This is just explorative, it's just suggestions, but also if you want to move your hands more to the right now. You're facing the ground now, so you can move it to the right to make it more intense. Let the upper body follow. Just for 2 more breaths. One more breath. Keeping it slow. Then press your palms, push the ground away, lift your upper body up, untwist slowly to the left, and reset back in the middle. So bring your feet about hips width once again. All right, so move the knees to the left, upper body to the left, all the way until you face the back. And then press your palms and just see where you land first. See where the first few moments are. And this is where we start to slow down or hold the poses further. If you want to, like you did on the first side, you want to intensify it. The right leg, slide it back a few inches. The upper body, the hands, move it towards your left. And then you'll feel it. If it doesn't feel great, return to the starting point. 3 breaths. When you feel the breath, there's an expansion and a contraction in the lungs, in the chest, in the belly. Very nice. From where you are, push yourself off of the ground, untwist, return to center with the knees and the upper body. Very nice. And then we'll extend both legs forward. Remember, extending may be straight or not completely straight, as long as your spine is tall. So when we find the spine, we're going to open the legs as wide as we can go. Okay, so I find that it's comfortable for the ankles to turn to the side, so it's up to you, so that the heels are not hitting the floor. So as wide as possible until you feel a slight pull in the inner thighs. Okay, feet flexed, and you want everything symmetrical as much as we can make it. Then with the spine tall, we're gonna lean forward and fold. We have 5. Go ahead, see if you can go lower or longer. 3. Okay, stop where you feel something. 2. You may even bend the elbows to the ground. 1. Okay, come up. Lift your chest up and bring the legs slightly closer. Okay, so now we're gonna bend the right leg. Bring the foot inside the thigh. So you're just pressing it gently. We're taking a side stretch here, but first let's turn the upper body to face your right knee. Okay, so face the right knee, left hand, press it down gently. So just to keep the thigh down, okay? And then the right arm reaches up. So you're slightly turned towards your right, and if you notice, your shoulder is pretty much aligned to your left leg already. And then extend your right arm up. Just follow that line, then side bend. It may be a bit, it may be halfway, or you may get to the foot. Okay, so just find the line. The left shoulder now starts to roll in slightly. For those of us who can really get low, left shoulder in front of the left knee. It doesn't matter where you are because we're all in the same plane. Okay, whether you're on your foot or you're up halfway, same plane, right? Take one more breath. Don't forget to breathe. One last exhale and come up. Okay, that was deep. Extend your right leg out and bend the left leg. Same thing as we take it slow, right hand to the left knee. Revolve a little to your left so you look over the right shoulder and everything is lined up. Just keep the right foot active. Then press down enough to feel the lengthening up of your spine. Reach the left arm up. And then we move from here, side bend. Find where you'll end up. Sometimes we push too hard that we hold our breath just to get to where we want to go. So don't compromise with the breath. 3. Yeah, that's it. Very nice. 2. The toes are right there. 1. And come up. Nice. Was there one side that was much difficult than the other? Just check. Okay, release the legs. Good job, everybody. We're going to go back down to the floor now. Shake it out. Just roll your spine to the ground. Lie down. We're not going to come up anymore, okay? So from here, we'll just stay on the ground. So just relax your upper body. Slide your shoulders slightly in so you're not hunched. And then you can let the upper body rest. So with the knees bent, we're going to bring the right foot on top of the left knee. So like a figure 4, de cuatro. If your hips are tight, the right knee might feel too close to your chest. So just push it out a bit so that you get more of that 4, right? That figure 4. Keep the right foot flexed and active. Keep your right knee moving towards the right lower corner. Then lift the entire shape. Interlace your fingers behind your left thigh and start to hug the leg in. Closer and closer. The left foot can just be relaxed, all right? It's the right foot we want to keep active. So the muscles around the knee, the muscles around your ankles are still toned. Closer and closer. Where do you sense this pose? Where do you feel resistance? Or where do you feel open? 2 more breaths. Can we try and get the right shin to the chest? 1 more breath. Right shin closer to the chest. And then
Very nice. Wherever you ended up, release that and step the left foot back to the floor. Keep the figure 4 shape. Okay, we're gonna open our arms out wide. Walk the left foot, or just heel toe it till you feel the edge of your mat. If you don't have a mat, that's maybe 1 foot distance away to the left. Okay, and the whole shape, just drop your knees down to the right. The left hip will lift a little, but we want to feel as if we're trying to press the left hip down. It will stay off the ground, of course, but the action, the sensation is of us trying to press down. Just a little IT band stretch here. Outer hip. So if you do running, cycling, these areas tend to get worked on a lot. We need to release them. Then bring your knees back to the center. Okay, this left foot back in the middle towards the midline. And let's just cross the right leg completely over the left leg. Okay, you can double cross it like so. If that's possible, keeping the arms out, bring the knees towards your chest, then to the left, all the way out to the left. Right shoulder may lift, but if you can, press it back down to the floor. So if you notice the knees are quite high, they're almost trying to point to your elbow or some part of your left arm. And then bring your knees back to the center. Untwist the legs and feet flat. Okay, and all of that on our left side. Bring the left foot on top, find your figure 4. If you had to push, maybe you need to do that here too, to feel the evenness of the hips. And then bring the legs in, interlace the fingers behind your right thigh, and gently pull. Within the next 5 breaths, we're exploring if we can get this left shin towards the chest, okay? And every time we do an asymmetrical pose, or one and then the other, it's good to check if you feel balanced or not. We'll always have a stronger side, we'll always have a tighter side and all that. So it's just good to know, to sense. So for me here, I am feeling more on the left. Just check in with yourself also. And then we let this go, release, and step that right foot down. Just relax the arms out to the side, soften at the elbows. Move your right foot about a foot's distance, or if you have a mat, you will find the outer edge. Then drop your knees down to the floor. Like we did the first time, try to press down or just feel the right side of the hip active. Pressing down, even if it doesn't come anywhere near the ground. 2 long breaths, keeping that nice engagement. A gentle tug. Good. 1 last exhale. And then bring the knees back to the center. The right foot walks back into the middle. Cross the left over right once, maybe twice, if the toes can go behind the calf. Draw your knees towards your chest and drop them to the right, towards the elbow line. And also here, it's again asymmetrical. You want to notice your shoulder area. You want to notice a part of your mid-back or lower back perhaps. What doesn't release that easily for you? What releases so easily as well? Last 2 big breaths. Do you still feel the rise and fall of your chest and the abdomen when you breathe now? All right, bring your knees back to the center. Uncross the legs and let's hug the legs super close to the chest. If you can grab the opposite elbows, go for that. Grab your opposite elbows and press yourself into a really tight ball. Squeeze, but press down your hips. Now is a good time to temporarily flatten the lower back to the ground and release any tension there. Let's take 3 big breaths in through the nose, squeeze. Exhale through the nose. 2 more breaths, keep it tight. Keep it squeezing. 1 more breath here, inhale. And then on the exhale, we open everything out. Coming into our final and just as important pose, Shavasana. Extend the legs out to the corners. Open your arms about 30 degrees or so out to the sides. Roll down the shoulders, slide the shoulder blades towards each other. And then relax the fingers and the toes. You can keep your eyes open, looking gently at one spot on the ceiling. Or you can keep your eyes closed and just reduce the external stimuli. In a way, you're just now down to sensing the body again, allowing yourself to breathe easy. And if you remember what it was on the first pose, in our child's pose, how is your energy level? How are the quality of your breaths? And how are the quality of sensations you feel in your body? Perhaps there's a shift. Perhaps there's a difference. Without any expectations, observe. We're here for just a few more breaths. Observing, taking note of where we are right now. I'll let you know when it's time. No effort, no more work, rest. Wherever you are, prepare your body to move. You can start with a little wiggle of the fingers and the toes. And then bigger, more active breaths. Then we can all stretch up and down together. Arms up, legs together, point, flex your toes. Big breath. Feel all the spaces you have created today in your body. And then exhale so easily. Bend your knees, roll to one side, and come up to a seated pose. All right, so we'll just sit here, close the practice together. Thank you so much for joining class today. If your cameras are off, you may want to open it now just to say hi. That was our practice. I hope you had a good time. I definitely enjoyed. Thank you.